Okay, today we're looking at what I've called the CNN effect, uh, and we start with a song. All other gods, they are the works of man. You are the most high God. There is none like you. All other gods, they are the works of man. You are the most high God. There is none like you. Okay, and we'll talk a bit about media literacy because, of course, if you look at the CNN effect, it's basically talking about how the media can actually impact foreign policy and, of course, other areas of our lives. So we need to be aware of the fact that the media is a key player in socialization. Of course, we have parents, we have faith-based organizations, but the media does play a key role. In fact, the media is capable of making people in their own image. And if you look at some of the ideas that you basically have personally, for instance, some of it might actually emanate from your engagement with the media. Because from a very young age, sometimes parents use the media to babysit their children. They are too busy to be able to take care of the child. So they put on cartoons. And for those very impressionable minds, it begins to form their worldview and their philosophy of life. So, for instance, you have people that have a disdain for the organized religion. Sometimes they might not even be aware of the fact that it is that exposure, repeated exposure to media that makes them have that kind of disdain. When it comes to issues of marriage, people also have very funny ideas about what marriage should be. You see someone saying, I can't submit to any man, but even among groups of friends, there has to be someone that has to be a leader, someone believing in having affairs, because you see that in the movies, somebody having a disdain, how can I be exchanged for cows, lobola? How can somebody pay for me, bride price? When these things are ingrained in even the traditional African setting, but because of this repeated exposure to the media, people begin to have all those kinds of funny views. And if you ask them, they tell you this is my own personal view, without even being aware of the fact that they were influenced by the media. Or even if you look at the latest craze, somebody is trying to raise their child as gender neutral, and a lot of it is because of the liberal media. If you look at the African continent, for instance, we don't get to be exposed to too much of the conservative media. You have the CNNs of this world and the BBC, which is a very more liberal, as a liberal bent. So, but if you are that kind of a balance, maybe it will really help in terms of your outlook. Maybe you also have a Fox News, and some other conservative leaning media. But of course, maybe with the internet, you can actually have those kinds of balance. So media literacy then becomes key because you might just end up swallowing everything you get to be exposed to in the media, and then it forms your worldview and your opinion. You know. So, but what we really need to do is to come back home. The media should not, be as key in our lives as the word of God. If you look at Matthew chapter 4, verse 4, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. It's not what we see in the media, it's not food. Nothing else matters apart from the word of God. Whatever proceeds from the mouth of God, you can take it to the bank. Make the Bible your go-to resource for everything. Don't allow yourselves to be influenced by what it is that you see around you. That makes you even begin to question the whole idea of religion and relating to God. You don't want to do that. God should be the center of your universe.